Senator Beatrice.
Honorable Speaker, I want to join my colleagues in thanking you for the wisdom in the bill that we are discussing today. And I want to state from the onset that this should have happened long time ago, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the role of the Senate is very clear in the Constitution, that in Article 96 serves to protect the interest of the counties. Honorable Speaker, the mention of the governments, and that is county government, is not only limited to the executive arm of the government as stipulated in the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, in passing this bill, the Senate of the Republic of Kenya will have actually put devolution to work. Honorable Speaker, I happen to have served in a county government structure and specifically as an executive. And so I join my colleague, Senator Mofaya, who served in their county assembly in sharing the experience that county governments have over the running of funds. Honorable Speaker, the earlier speakers had mentioned that county governments, and in particular treasuries, line up at the Controller of Budgets offices every other month and at the National Treasury in pleading for approvals and for funds to be sent to the counties. Honorable Speaker, that is not just a saying. I was a CEC in the county government of Homa Bay, and every month, the county treasury would camp at the National Treasury. It defeated the purpose for which devolution was voted for by Kenyans. And Honorable Speaker, even the devolving of the office of the Controller of Budget to the counties did not make it better. Because from the experience and observation that I had, Honorable Speaker, it looked like the devolved Controller of Budget at the county just joined the executive and worked hand in hand with the executive as if they were one and the same thing. So, Honorable Speaker, we have all along, as the devolution family, sympathized with the county assemblies over this republic, that each month, when the county treasury had received funds, then now it was the time of the speaker, of the clerk of the county assembly, and the budget share committee to now line up at the county treasuries. Because it is only the county executive, the county treasury, led by the CEC of finance, that now had the key to unlock when the county assemblies were going to get their monies. And it is on this strength, Honorable Speaker, that I want to support this bill, and that the counties, in getting the county assemblies to have their funds, Honorable Speaker, we will only be strengthening the separation of powers. That the county assemblies oversight the executive, the county assembly does a representation role of their wards, and the county assemblies also do legislation. But Honorable Speaker, how then can they accomplish these constitutional functions if they are not having their monies and are not in control of their monies, Honorable Speaker? Honorable Speaker, even at the budget time in the counties, the county assemblies are on the receiving end. They have to negotiate with the executive on how much they can be given. They have to negotiate with the executive, and it is as if the county assemblies only accept what they are given by the executive. And so, Honorable Speaker, I support this amendment. I want to agree with the majority whip that let us not go with the clerk as an administrator, that let us place this funding to be run by the board as constituted in the county assembly. But I want to add a voice to this, that the clerk then should be given a functional role, precisely which can be an accounting officer of this fund, rather than have him as an administrator, Honorable Speaker. In getting the clerk to be an accounting officer, we will be giving a function to the office and, of course, overseen by the board of the county assembly. So the board will have a macro role in the running of the funds, but functionally, the clerk will be an accounting officer that is answerable to the board of the county assembly, Honorable Speaker. And so, Honorable Speaker, this accounting officer can then go ahead to perform all the functions that you've laid down, that includes even ensuring that the fund is not overdrawn. Honorable Speaker, earlier here there was a discussion of the controller of budget. The question I keep on asking myself, that I asked myself then when I was working at the county government, and I keep on asking myself today, even as a senator, is that why did the controller of budget devolve the office of the controller of some of his functions? And then the counties now have an officer called the county controller of budget. Why then do officers of the county still have to travel to Nairobi to get the same approvals? If the controller of budget officer at the county has approved, and he duly works on a day-to-day with the county treasuries and oversees the running of funds in the sectors of the county, why then do we still have the CEC finance, or the chief officer of finance, or the county accountant camping at the national treasury or at the office of controller of budget? Honorable Speaker, I support this bill. Some of the laudable clauses we have is that the county assembly, in having gotten those funds, will make financial reports to be submitted to the Commissioner of Revenue Allocation. And of course, you have stated that it should be copied to the Controller of Budget. I support this because these are good practices in good governance, that they will be making reports and they will be copying the Controller of Budget. This then means that the initial requests that the county assemblies made can be compared by these constitutional commissions to ensure that the guidelines are being followed. I also support that the clerk, who should then be an accounting officer, may authorize a staff to incur expenses, of course, following the guidelines as stated in the bill. Honorable Speaker, the county assemblies, as any other government, have structures. They have a finance officer, they have an accountant, county assembly accountant, and so it is well that the accounting officer may authorize some of those officers to incur expenses. Honorable Speaker, the other aspect that I support, get their funds later by the 15th day from the commencement of the month. You have rightfully put that the county treasury shall in the same way also disburse the funds to the county assembly fund. Honorable Speaker, if this is adhered to, the county assemblies will run with efficiency and they will be more effective. Because often, more times, Honorable Speaker, the activities are disrupted because of lack of funds. If they will be running their funds, they will be having their work plan, they will be planning for their funds, and they will be having their activities that are done at the right time. Honorable Speaker, the county assemblies a number of times are not able to perform their duties, including public participation, which is also spelled out in the Constitution, which they must do, sometimes of certain county bills that is before them, a number of times even on the budgeting processes, a number of times even the policies that are presented by the county executives. I remember, Honorable Speaker, when I was a CEC of energy then, and I had a policy on renewable energy that took a long time, even when the county executive had approved it. And basically because the county assembly had no funds to run their public participation. Honorable Speaker, it meant that my committee then looked up to me as the CEC to fund their public participation. And Honorable Speaker, those are the kind of issues this bill is trying to address, that the committees of the assembly would be autonomous, the committees of the assembly would be independent, and it is until then, Honorable Speaker, that the work of the county assemblies will be beneficial to our people. I also realize, Honorable Speaker, that the controller of budget, it spills out in the bill that the controller of budget will have access to the bank accounts of the county assembly if their funding is independently set aside. And this will not be limited to the county assembly only, but to the county executive and any other county entity that will be running any funds. Honorable Speaker, I support this because this is only helping to ensure that there will be efficiency at the county assemblies. Honorable Speaker, the main thing that we need to ensure by ensuring that the county assemblies have their money is autonomy and independence, Honorable Speaker. I wonder if today, if our funding, even in Parliament, would be controlled from elsewhere, would we be able to run our calendars? Would we be able to accomplish what we are doing as Parliament that the people expect us to represent them? This is the kind of mess and the kind of limits that the county assemblies have had. By passing this bill, Honorable Speaker, the Senate will have entrenched devolution. The county assemblies will stand out. I probably think, Honorable Speaker, that the lack of this bill has necessitated the county assemblies to behave and to operate as if they are an appendage of the county executive. Because how else would they operate, Honorable Speaker? My colleagues have stated and used even undesirable terms, Honorable Speaker, some of them very moralizing to entities like county assemblies, when we see as Parliament that county assemblies now are reduced to beggars, that they have to beg from somebody. Honorable Speaker, if you have to beg to somebody, they give you the terms. And so, let us pass this bill, Honorable Speaker, and let us ensure that county assemblies run as envisaged in the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, as I support, I also want to add my voice to the issue of salaries of the members of the county assemblies. Honorable Speaker, we all go and we appreciate, even elected senators here are always at their counties. But Honorable Speaker, let us bear with the situation of the MCAs, that they are closer to the people, they are always with the voters. So Honorable Speaker, if you give them the kind of salaries, and I want to state in this House, that was a push that was made by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. Initially, at the onset of devolution, the salaries were at par. But you have a speaker who is elected by the members of county assembly that has no voting block other than the members of the county assembly in the county assembly hall, and you give them twice the salary of elected leaders who have to represent their people and have to be at the wards every other day. Honorable Speaker, that is not an acceptable situation. The members of the county assemblies relate with the voters every other day. Just as we do, Honorable Speaker, they solve all the problems from the social to economic and all kinds of problems that our people have in the wards. The Salaries and Remuneration Commission must reconsider what salaries and benefits that members of the county assemblies are entitled to. And Honorable Speaker, let us also think about the ward funds, that we have county assembly MCAs who are elected by the people, but have no funds at their disposal to serve our people. And so, Honorable Speaker, I applaud you. This should have been done like yesterday. I urge members of the Senate that this bill will entrench the role of the Senate as stated in Article 96 of the Constitution. And Honorable Speaker, as I sit down, I would like the governor of Isiolo to take note that the issue of gender balance is a constitutional provision. And it is not at his whims. He might be having